It's really cool. You know, Multimatic's obviously a pretty impressive team. You know, great manufacturing abilities, great technical abilities. It's really cool to be working as closely with Ford Racing as we are. You know, it's a brand new car. The Focus STR isn't even out in the streets yet, and you know, these are pretty much the first two of this type of race car, you know, pretty much anywhere. So to be part of that development is really, really cool and exciting. Yeah, I've always kept my eye on it, you know, all things Grand-Am related. I've always bounced around. I've been from, you know, little sports prototypes to big GT cars to not racing to open wheel, and then kind of landed here this year. You know, I had an opportunity with Jimmy John's to take him into sports car racing. And frankly, the Continental Tire Series is probably the best racing anywhere in any series right now. I mean, anytime you have 70 to 80 cars showing up to a race, and you know, the top 20 cars are within a second of lap time, and you know, you're bumping and banging out there and fighting for position tooth and nail. You miss one shift, you lose 10 positions. You know, that was really appealing. And now that I've got a little more experience, you know, I want to get a little more seat time, which the finishing driver usually does, because you'll take an early caution if you can, just strategy-wise. So the first two races, you know, I did 40, 50 minutes, something like that. And I'm going to finish this weekend here at New Jersey, which is nice. So, you know, I could be in the car an hour and a half plus, you know, which you got to be prepared for. But, you know, I'm ready. I want to see how the tires develop over their life cycle, you know, how they are after an hour on, you know, on a stint, how the car changes with the fuel load, everything like that. So I'm looking to learn a lot and be out there with the big boys. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been catching snakes, you know, since I was about 4 years old. A decision that my mom may or may not regret to this day is that when I was really young, she let me keep a garter snake that we caught in Illinois, back home in Chicago. And I kept it for probably about 2 weeks before it got out and is lost forever. But that kind of sparked an interest, and I started, you know, keeping some more snakes. I started taking some nature classes. I eventually started working and teaching at a nature center all throughout, you know, junior high and high school. And then as I learned more about them, I started kind of catching them in the wild, you know, traveling then, you know, slowly down to southern Illinois to catch some snakes, then, you know, take a trip out to Arizona, then it's Costa Rica, then it's Ecuador, then it's Australia, then it, you know, my most recent trip was to Zimbabwe, Africa. And just, it's weird for sure. Not always popular with the ladies, but it's you know, an interesting passion I've always had. The most normal thing I can equate it to is people that are really hardcore fishermen. You know, they'll travel the world. You know, they'll go to South America during a certain time of year to catch a golden dorado. They'll talk your ear off about it. They'll know as much as a, you know, fish scientist and ichthyologist. And it's just something I've always done. You know, after the Homestead race, I stayed in Florida. I went out into the Everglades and, you know, chased stuff around. And, you know, I'm already planning my next trips to, you know, maybe Southeast Asia or Papua New Guinea or something like that. Probably the top moment was in 2009. I went down to the Amazon for a little over 2 weeks, and we literally just traveled around and dug out tree canoes, you know, slept in the rainforest, all that. So we managed to find a 20-foot long green anaconda in the wild, which is like a once-in-a-lifetime type thing, because, you know, most people, when they come across that, are scared, and the locals will kill them sometimes and things like that. So it's really, really rare, and it's pretty cool and made for some good pictures. You know, one of the things I do too, I don't like, people will call me like a snake hunter or croc hunter or whatever. Like, I just go and I catch them, take pictures, and release them. You know, I just appreciate the animals and like finding them. And then you get the whole normal experience, you know, of someone that goes to the Amazon. I see the birds and the monkeys and the crazy insects and things like that. But I just kind of have this added element of things that I look for. Those were palm grubs. They were more disgusting than they looked. I tried them both raw and cooked, and contrary to what you might think, they're even more disgusting when they're cooked. They cook them in their own juices. They just throw them in a pan. It's disgusting, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It tastes like shoe polish.